Of course, you select them individually, and then you wish they work together, and that's when, like, when you do the chemistry read, you realize that you have the group, and it's a magical feeling.
So, Andy, can you talk a little bit about, obviously, the most visible part of it is Pennywise. Can you talk a little bit about creating a new Pennywise?
Yeah, well, the first thing is I wanted to stay true to the essence of the character on one hand. I also wanted to bring something new and more edgy to a new interpretation. And there's like also the fact that there's a lot of things that people don't expect Pennywise to do, but they are part of the original work. And one of the things I wanted to bring was the unpredictability of that character, and making him really, really scary because you don't know what he's going to do next. And Bill was just perfect for that.
Mm-hmm. How did you go about casting all of those kids? Was that a difficult search?
It was a long search. It wasn't difficult because eventually it happened. You know, the miracle happened. I knew from the beginning what I was looking for, which is basically actors who shared DNA with the characters that they were playing. I didn't want them just to perform, pretend that they were. And that's what's very gratifying about the search, is what at the end each of these characters came to light. Of course, you select them individually, and then you wish they work together, and that's when, like, when you do the chemistry read, you realize that you have the group, and it's a magical feeling.
You've already talked that you're starting work on the sequel. Is that true? And that's going to be the grown-up half. Can you talk a little bit about how are you going to get characters that represent these kids as grown-ups? Do you have any ideas?
Well, that's a little too far. I think that, you know, the second part, I think it's not a second part, it's a second half, actually. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you that it would be awesome to do, because I love this movie so much, and I think people will fall in love with the characters, so I hope so. And definitely they will want to see what happens to them 27 years later.
Was it difficult wrangling a whole bunch of kids?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all. It wasn't like, you know, these kids are crazy, but they're also crazy talented and committed. Mm-hmm. And that commitment basically was the thing that kept them together and strong as a group.
You and your sister are huge Stephen King fans, I know. Can you talk a little bit about the challenge of translating the work into a film?
Well, it's challenging because, you know, one of the signature things in Stephen's style is the swing, the tone swings that make his work so great, because you're suddenly, you know, you're reading a horror story, but it's also, you know, character-driven drama, and it's also funny, and then it becomes scatological and horrifying. So it's he's juggling with a lot of different tones, not emotions, tones. And that's why it's difficult to make a movie in general based on Stephen King, because most of the adaptations, they refuse the tonal swing, and they go for something more safe. But actually, for me, it's a great part. It's a big part that, you know, juggling with tones is a big part of the process of making the audience engage with the characters. You know, it's not the same thing to do a straight horror and make a straight horror with a heart, with a, you know, as I said, a character-driven drama, and also with humor. But if you have the right pieces, you do it well, and you'll succeed. You'll win.